What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Still a nation, still a family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me make sure the mic is playing at the right level. It is. What is happening, good people, man? Appreciate you guys tuning in each and every week. And thank you again for coming back by, man, and hanging out with me for Tomlin Tuesday. This is, what week we in now? 12? This is week 12, right? Or is it 13? Week 13, right? I think. Hold on. Let me check, man. I lose track sometimes. Let me make sure. We're approaching week 13, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, week 12 was the Cleveland Browns. So, all right, guys, welcome, man. The Steelers coming off of a mini bye, being that they played on Thursday night. So hopefully they took care of some business and got some things in order. But we're going to talk a little bit about stuff tonight, man. I'm just going to go through what I took from Tomlin's recap. I'm just going to give you some light comments about, just the game in general and answer my own question. And the thumbnail, as you can see there, as well as the title, is Mike Tomlin, the blame for the Steelers' loss. And I'm going to be in and out so I can get to the phone calls. Because again, guys, as we know right now, as I mentioned to you guys last week, Blog Talk Radio is going away. I think January, I think it is. There will be no more Blog Talk Radio. They are apparently going out of business, so I have to find another means to accept phone calls. Again, I'll say this at the end of the show. I'm not looking for anything that requires you to have an account and or log in. So I do not prefer a Google Meets. I do not prefer anything like a Zoom. I do not prefer Discord, because all of these things generally require you to log in or have a login, and you just can't call directly in, and I don't have the switchboard capability. So got my wife looking into that. She's good with finding stuff. So let's say hello to the early commenters, man. Let's say what's up to my man Mark Cunningham, 55 Porter, my man Y Diggy in the building. Hello, Lanisha, the lovely Lanisha in the building, as well as Angie is in the building, man, a.k.a. Baby Steeler. Hello, Miss Ladies. We appreciate y'all each and every week, fellas. Lay out, roll out the red carpet. Take care of them. Treat them like royalty. Steeler cards. The Art Steeler. Who else is up in here, man? Let's see. Vista Light. Mr. Loan Table Talk. My good brother Kenyon in the building, of course. And Mustard. Kenyon. I know it's crazy out there in LA, man. And we're going to just leave it at that. Man, that boy. Let me just say this real quick, guys, just as a side. Some people you just got to leave alone, bro. You know, if just real quick, guys, I'm going to say this in 20 seconds and I'm getting out of here. If you a hip hop dude like me, it's certain people that you just leave them alone. Just don't battle them. Certain people might not be wise to battle. Kendrick Lamar is on that list. Eminem is on that list. Guys like Black Thought is on that list. Guys like Royce the 5'9" is on that list. These rapidy rap dudes, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Kendrick is just too cerebral, bro. And all right, let's keep it going, guys. Who else is up in here? John Alexander. Who else we got here? Andre Coleman is in the building. Anthony Candler is in the building. My man Antoine Hill is in the building. Who else is up in here, man? Did I miss anybody? I'm going to jump right into it, man. I'm not going to spend too much time here. Yeah. Leonard Green, of course, man. Dudes like, and you see what happened, right? Even with Jay and Nas, like they both took strategic angles on how they wanted to approach it because they knew who they was messing with. Certain guys, just leave them alone. Leave them alone. Just leave them alone. But yeah, let's get into it, guys. Mustard. Now you got me. That guy just won't quit, man. All right, let's get to the Steelers talk. All right, guys. Yeah. All right, let see. I keep sidetracking us, man, because Kenya's saying he talking right now. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about Mike Tomlin's presser, man. And like I said, I'm gonna try to be quick and brief with this. I'm gonna give you a recap of just a light recap of the game, man. And if I feel like Mike Tomlin was the reason for the loss, I see a lot of people saying that. I see a lot of people. I mean, like always, they want to fire Mike Tomlin. It's so hilarious to me because you guys know I told you that I'm sticking by what I said. I'm not arguing or debating anybody about their like or dislike for Coach Mike Tomlin. I am well past that. It's just sometimes it's just funny to see the narratives, how, the same person at 1 week that's 8-2, that you all of a sudden now, you lose a game and he's ready to be fired. I'm like, how do you go from one extreme to the other? I would rather hear people say, hey, I just don't prefer this coach. I don't prefer this player. Whether they win or lose, you give them their credit. I just don't prefer them. That's great. But the flip-flops got to stop, man. Some of y'all wear more flip-flops than, a pair of Nike slides, man. I swear. It's hilarious. But anyway, Mike Tomlin talked about Alex Highsmith, Corey Trice, and Montravius Adams potentially having an opportunity to play against the Cincinnati Bengals, and we shall see. You know the routine. Participation will be the guide. I think it would be a welcome addition to get a guy like Alex Highsmith back, man, because boy, was he on a tear coming off of the first injury. I mean, he looked like he was rejuvenated and wasn't playing no games and was assisting like he always does with the pass rush. So I would love to get a full complement of pass rush heading into the stretch. If hopefully TJ stays healthy and we can keep Herbig and Highsmith healthy, that's what I want to see throughout the duration of the rest of the season and whatever it's going to be. Also, Tomlin said that they better have enough defense to carry them for 60 minutes. Now, here's the thing I want you guys to pay attention to. Mike Tomlin doesn't say much, but when he chooses to talk, he says a lot. And what I appreciate is if you can read between the lines and kind of understand when he's giving you a little something, or even understand when he's taking full credit for something without actually saying the words, I can appreciate it. I love what he said about this. He said, listen, we better have 60 minutes worth of defense for the Bengals. And he basically said, we better play coverage some. We better play zone, basically in so many words, he say, you better have a plan to line up man coverage. You better have a plan to play zone. You better have a plan to throw a different look at them. And you can't run out of plans for 60 minutes. And I really appreciate that because that is one of the things that does concern me about playing the Bengals. Okay, so because unlike a lot of people who might watch this show, no disrespect to you guys if you fall in this category, but unlike a lot of people who watch this show and other shows, just the general fan, you guys get so caught up in records. The Bengals are 4-7, and it'll be a disgrace if the Steelers lose to them, and it'll be a disgrace if they lose to the Browns. Guys, we cannot forget that these are divisional games. You know each other. And to me, Cincinnati is playing better than that 4-7. Just my opinion. Just off the two games that I saw, it might be another game in there. Cincinnati could very easily or could possibly be 6-5. Because the two games against the Ravens, right there. They right there. They're able to put up points. They can strike fast. They match up very well against the Steelers. When I say very well, I'm just talking about the offense that they can pose against our defense. They got a stud in Jamar Chase. They got another stud that you got to watch out for and T. Higgins. They got a couple other young guys. I can't pronounce the dude's name right now, but, he pops his head out every now and then. Number 80, new kid that they got there. They got another young rookie that's stepping up. The kid Brown out of the backfield. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, dog, is playing some good football right now. Donation. Simple and plain. But I'm going to get to it in a minute. Round of applause, man, to the last king of Scotland. Appreciate the Wonder Bread. He says Pittsburgh lost because of Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith's stupidity. Okay. But yeah, man, listen. It's funny because I'll give y'all a quick side story really fast. I had this conversation on Sunday at church service, right? We got a Ravens fan in there. You know, I'm not going to say her name. You know, she's from Baltimore and whatnot. She talking all this trash. Because y'all lose to the Browns. And then we got a Commanders fan in there. What happened to y'all in the Browns? I let them talk for about 2 minutes. And after 2 minutes, I said, whoa, hold up. I said, number one, y'all we beat in Washington. Done with you. I said, and you, how can we lose to the Browns? Guess who lost to the Browns first? Y'all did. And guess who we beat last week? You. So how are you sitting here talking trash to me? She said, yeah, well, you know, we did. I said, it's over. That's it. What are we talking about here? Because y'all know me, I'm not a trash talking fan. I never do. I just watch the games. And it's funny because a lot of times when people doing this, we win. And I just be like, but I had to shut both of them down. Because I'm like, hold on now. How both of y'all talking? We beat both of y'all. And you, Miss Ravens fan, you lost to the Browns as well. But I say that to say this, guys, it's divisional football. Same reason I'm going to say Black Friday. Watch it be a close game with the Raiders and the Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll say that. Would not be surprised because it's divisional football. Guys, y'all know how it go. So, yeah, the Browns didn't have a great record. Oh, yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals don't have the best record. But I sat right here and told y'all last week before we played, hey, don't be surprised if we lose. Because of the defense and how it matches up against Arthur Smith's offense. And not only that, it's the familiarity, man. And Cleveland honestly has given problems to both us and the Ravens for the last several years. It just is what it is. But anyway, getting back to my point, man, it definitely concerns me, man. So I like what Tomlin said about the 60 minutes of defense because he's absolutely correct there because, yeah, we're going to have to play a really tight game, man, to beat the Bengals. We're going to have to put points up. Plain and simple. Records go out the window. And y'all can say whatever y'all want about the coach. I'm just trying to tell you, as long as I've been watching this team, I remember when Ben Roethlisberger would struggle. Y'all remember when Ben used to struggle against the Bengals? Like in the more of the latter years, I was at the game when he threw 3 interceptions. I was at that game. And I think it was it Zimmer? Forget who the coordinator was at the time that would always, you know, trick Ben every now and then when he would throw that cover 2 on him. Always gave Ben a couple of fits, even though we would find ways to win those games in most of the Roethlisberger years. I'm just saying. Yeah. Anyway, guys, divisional football. Let's keep it moving. I got to be fast. Here's another interesting thing. I like how Mike Tomlin pointed out, he said the Bengals have run 23 screens against us in the last 6 matchups. Reason why I thought that was important is I wanted to outline this. A lot of times, us in the fan base, we always question what the coaches do. Most of us have done that. We always get mad, or kind of like what Last King of Scotland did. You want to call them stupid and all of that. Guys, we have to accept the fact that these guys are professional and these guys know what they're doing. They do. And the reason why I pointed out that stat is because, you know, you always hear people say that Mike Tomlin isn't involved and, you know, he doesn't watch film and he doesn't know this and know that. If you listen to the type of things that he rolled off, like every interview, every Tuesday, when how he talks about the other team and he recalls these stats and things, I think it's time to go away from saying that he doesn't know what he's doing or he's unprepared and he doesn't study. Stop. What you can question is whether or not or how him and other coaches on the staff, how they execute on game day. That's fair. But for the people who feel like they don't know what they're doing and yada, 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 how do you go at 8-2? How do you stay relevant if you don't? You understand what I'm saying? So it's not an excuse for him. I'm just saying some comments I will always just entertain because it's interesting. I really be wanting to know how people get to those narratives. It's strange. Round of applause to my good brother, Why Diggy. We got one in the bread, baby. Why Diggy says, not only do we need 60 minutes of defense, but we need about 75 minutes of offense. Also, I was more mad at the Cowboys L than the Browns L. You know what? I think I joined Why Diggy in that. Man. We just couldn't muster any offense, man. And for it to come down to one play, it just shows you how close they were in that Cowboys game. You know, we couldn't score then. You know, we didn't get that offense going, but there were so many opportunities I think we could have taken that Cowboys game and we didn't. So I absolutely agree with Why Diggy. I'm more pissed about that one, man. At 4th and 4, one play to go, you stop them, the game is over. And even though Deshaun Elliott was able to kind of get there, he just couldn't get the ball out. But we all saw, you know, I showed you guys when I showed you the film, we all saw that Beanie Bishop didn't pass off his man in man like everybody else did. That was the one time, maybe they've done it more than once, but that was a key moment that the Steelers did something that I've always asked them to do. They switched off even in man. They kind of played man match. So if we're in man, if my guy goes inside, I'm going to pass him to you. If your guy goes outside, I'm going to pick him up. And Beanie Bishop did not go right. Had he gone right and had he passed off, he would have been there to be there for that play and maybe perhaps have Dak hold the ball just a second longer. It may have gotten sacked. So that was a tough pill to swallow. Let's keep it moving. Excuse me. The next thing I wanted to talk about, he says, this is something I didn't know. This came from one of the reporters. Here's an interesting stat for you guys. Did you guys know that so far this season, the Steelers is the only team that hasn't lost to a team with a winning record? They said the Steelers are 5-0 against teams with a winning record. Now, take with that you will. That is just a very interesting stat. Every other team that has losses has lost to a team with a winning record. The Steelers are the only team that has not lost to a team with a winning record. They're 5-0 in that category. That is interesting. Very interesting stat, man. Like I said, take from that what you will, but it's interesting. And I know some people are going to say, well, you know, it doesn't matter because when we played so-and-so, it was week 4. Yeah, but what about the Ravens? Just saying. But it is a very interesting stat, man. Very interesting stat. Oh, man, I see Debbie in here. What's going on, Debbie? Always good to see Debbie, man. Always good to see you doing well. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's continue to move, guys. Mike Tomlin also said something that warmed my heart. Oh, God. It warmed my heart, guys. And even though he didn't directly say time management, he alluded to it by saying, and I quote, he says, we as a coaching staff need to adapt and adjust to replay assists. Let me say it again. He said verbatim, we as a coaching staff need to adapt and adjust to replay assists. Now, though he didn't specifically say challenges at all, that's all part of it. It's all part of it in my book. Not challenging too fast, not going too fast. He says sometimes we're in the moment and we're too fast. Sometimes you got to just wait and chill. Let replay assist stop the play. Let replay assist review a little bit more. Potentially change a spot. Because like I told you guys, Mike Tomlin, biggest problems in his tenure has been clock management and challenges. Clock management, we almost seeing it almost every game, man. Even with games that we win, there's times when I'm like, why did we not call a timeout right there? I watch other teams, man. I watched a game last night and they started calling timeouts at like 4 minutes left to conserve clock. Let's see. What else do I have, guys? That's about it I have as far as Tomlin's recap. What I got? How many minutes I got left? Oh, we good. 20 minutes. Let me speed through this in the next 5. Then we'll get to the phone. I want to ask you guys a question. And I'm being legit and I'm being serious with this question. Some of you just don't like Mike Tomlin as a coach. Very fine. You're never going to hear me argue your opinion, whatever the case may be. And can I be real with y'all? Can I be very real with y'all tonight? Somebody just say yes before I go. Can I go there a little bit? I want to cover all bases tonight. Can I go there? Because I want to make sure I cover every single reason. I'm just going to be brief with it. As you guys are watching me on this video, obviously, one can assume what my background or ethnicity is. I'm proud of that. Proud of who I am. Same way y'all should be proud of who you are. Also, I have and I love all people. I got friends, even family, of all races. Plenty of them. As a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I loved Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher doesn't look like me. I loved Bruce Arians. Last time I checked, Bruce Arians don't look like me. Hell, I love Ben Roethlisberger, man, on the field. Ben used to do some shady stuff sometimes as far as him being passive aggressive. He don't look like me. Love Troy Polamalu. We don't have the same background. Don't really look like me, even though my mom kind of looked like Troy Polamalu. Y'all see where I'm getting at? Because a lot of times what people say is, oh, you guys and most people just like Mike Tomlin because he's a black head coach. No. You know who else is one of my favorite coaches and always was, even before the championships? Andy Reid. I've always been a big fan of Big Andy Reid. I just loved who he was as a person, what appeared to be. I don't know him personally, but just kind of seeing how he moved. Huge fan of Andy Reid. I would take Andy Reid as a head coach on the team I follow any day, not just because he's won championships at Kansas City, but because of the person that he is. There's a certain caliber of person that I look for. It don't matter what they are. Rex Ryan. I love Rex Ryan as a coach. I need that type of energy. So let me speed this up. I'm saying that to say this. Am I proud that Mike Tomlin is African-American head coach and has been widely successful in the NFL? Absolutely. Sure, I'm proud of that. Because they hadn't always gotten those opportunities. But also, Mike Tomlin has been here 18 years, so whenever the time comes, let's say if he doesn't get extended after this last extension, I'm going to welcome the next coach. I don't care if the coach is green. He could be from, he could be an avatar. All I care. But here's the thing. Some people, y'all don't like him because of what he is. So yeah, I'm going to go there for 2 seconds. Some of y'all just don't like that. And I would rather some people say that instead of saying other things, because I like people that's real. I like people that's real. I like people who say what they feel. And I respect it. I'll give y'all a real quick, small example. My nephew lives in South Carolina, and my nephew has a hardscaping business. He said he went to somebody's home one time, and the man straight up told him, said, hey, sir, hey, young man, I appreciate what you do. But I got to be honest with you. I just don't do business with people like you. Straight up told him. No disrespect, I just don't. And you know what my nephew said? Okay, all right. It is what it is. There was no harm, no foul. Didn't tell him to get off his, and because he just said what it was, you got to accept that and keep it moving. So I prefer people who just show me who they are instead of hiding. So like I said, there's a lot of people I know for fact, because I've heard it. There's a certain reason why some of y'all don't like him. And that's just not fair. It's just not fair. We should be better than that, guys, as a society. But I'll say this, I'll put that onus on us as Steelers fans. Get that out your heart. Get that out your heart, because we don't know who's going to be the coach. You have no control over that. So if you are a type of person that, and I'm talking to people like me as well, get that out of your heart if you only want a certain coach. No. Us as Steelers Nation should be a nation. You understand me? Get that out your heart, man. But like I said, I know that that's some of the reason why some people don't like Mike Tomlin. And it's crazy. Because when you compare him to other coaches, here's a stat real quick and then we'll keep it moving. I'm all for us winning. Man, it hurt me to my heart, man. I still see nightmares of Aaron Rodgers throwing that pretty ball to Jordy Nelson over Willie. What's my boy name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Will Gay. I was so concerned about the young Aaron Rodgers and his accuracy, and it showed up in that Super Bowl and Mendenhall fumbling, and I'm like, God, man, I wanted to see another championship. And it has hurt me to my heart that we don't have another one. It's been a long time, I know, guys. I know. I'm there with you. But here's the truth. It's hard. It's hard to win the Super Bowl. Man, I looked up the stats. Do y'all realize in the last 10 years, y'all want me to tell you who the Super Bowl, the winning coaches were? I want you to think about a 10-year period and think to yourselves how many coaches there has been in the last 10 years. In the last 10 years, Andy Reid got 3 of them things. I give Andy Reid my hat. I take my hat off and hand it to him. Sean McVay. Took him 5 years to do it, but he got him one. Shout outs to the young buck. Took him 5 years to do it. I want you to keep that in mind. 5 years. But he got him one. Bruce Arians. Did it relatively quick. But guess what? Bruce Arians had already run the Super Bowl with the Steelers. Not as a head coach, but as a part of the organization. And by the way, Tom Brady is his quarterback. Bill Belichick got 3 of them. 3 of them things. Bill Belichick. Doug Peterson snuck in there and got him one relatively early. Shout out. That might be the X factor right there, the 1 in a million. And when I say that, I mean coaches that hadn't been at their team too long before they got him one. And last but not least, Gary Kubiak, who had been a head coach at other places, and he got him one. He got himself one with a beat-up Peyton Manning and one, electrifying defense. Right? But the reason why I'm saying that to you guys, how many head coaches have we seen in the last 10 seasons? Year after year. And it even took Sean McVay 5 years to get one. So my question to you guys who just want the Steelers to get a new coach so bad, why do y'all think that we, just like that, we went in the Super Bowl? At the very best, as it seems, it's going to take us at least 4 or 5 years. You see what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying, guys? And I'm not saying hang on to Tomlin. I'm just saying expectation. When you really look at the landscape of the NFL, we're only this way because the Steelers have 6 rings. We are privileged. And we can root and cheer every year. And every year I hope we do something. And I know we haven't had the best playoff record. That has to change. But I'm also a realist, and I understand that it ain't easy, guys. If the next guy comes in, whenever that day may be, it might take him a long time to get one. So it's like I told y'all, I think our biggest window, man, even though we had no defense, the Killer B era was the era. That was the era to me. That was the time for us to get us one. Yeah, and it looked like the Lions might get one. And guess what? This is year number 4 for a homeboy. See what I'm saying? So just thought I'd say that as an aside, guys. Now I want to get back to business, man, so I can stop talking and get to the calls. Real quick, the only other thing I'm going to say, man, listen, can I answer the question, did Mike Tomlin lose the Steelers the game? I'm going to say no. But I am going to say there were some calls that I didn't like. Both Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith wasn't their best coaching. Did not like us taking that field goal early from that far away with the weather conditions. No, it wasn't snowing yet, but it was windy. Did not like that. The reason why I did not like that is I felt like we were moving the ball. We just stalled out for a bit, but it seemed like in them first couple drives, we were moving the ball. We just couldn't finish. So that's the reason why, seeing how we were able to move the ball on that drive, I would have punted, tried to pin them deep and make them work for it. And you played a field position game. So I did not like that. A couple of those short yardage attempts, the going for it on 4th down and just not having the best play call, guys. And I'm not talking about because it didn't work. Again, I'm talking about how we just line up against, I watched some of the film today, guys. We line up against 9-man boxes sometimes. 9. There were 9 people in the box. And we just run right at you. Like, we don't do nothing creative. Even with Justin Fields back there in that game. Now, we've done creative things. Arthur Smith has done some decent things throughout the season, but the situational football just was horrible in this game against Cleveland. Horrible. But unlike some of you guys, I don't look at one game that the coaches didn't necessarily do the best, and now I want to throw everybody away. It happens. It happens. But I will point it out. When we decide to run the football with short yardage, 2 yards or less to go, it is so bad and predictable. I mean, it just, come on, man. And it'd be different if we had this big mauling offensive line that's just getting pushed every play. That'd be different. And we don't. So, Arthur Smith, you got to stop that. Coach T, I understand you said, this year you're not living so much in your fears. I'm cool with that. But again, if we're going to do that, we got to get a good play call in. If we're going to do that and we changing formations and running Justin Fields out there and we got to, hurry up and snap the ball with a second left, like, dog, we can't do that. But the reason why I say that Mike Tomlin didn't lose this game, y'all want me to tell you why? Y'all do remember that the Steelers took the lead with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. Steelers got the ball back with 4 minutes and 40-something seconds on the clock. 4-minute offense wins the game. Steelers go 3 and out. And then Corliss Waitman, who's punted for as well, decides to kick the ball off his foot. That's why they lost. The Pittsburgh Steelers offense didn't produce points in this game until too late. That's why they lost. Like I said, there were some coaching decisions with the going forward and kicking the field goal early and missing it. Yes. But I am not going to put that game completely on Tomlin. But I will say Tomlin and Arthur Smith did not have the best coaching games. They actually absolutely did not. But yet and still, they were in position to win. Took the lead with 6-something left on the clock. Got the ball back with a little less than 5 minutes on the clock. It was 4:41, I think it was. I got it somewhere. And you go 3 and out. This is what I'm talking about, Arthur Smith. And that offense. How many 3 and outs did we do? I don't care that the weather was out there. Guess what? Cleveland played in the same weather. George Pickens. I don't want to hear you saying nothing about no weather again in no interview. You play in Pittsburgh, where it's cold and you're going to get some weather. And the team you played had to play in the same weather. So why is one team more prepared? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that from fans either. Y'all got me riled up, man. I ain't even mean to do this. James Webb, man, appreciate the Wonder Bread. Round of applause. And then we're going to get out of here. We're going to get to the phone calls. Thank you so much, brother. He says, 100% fact, Sim. Wondering, do we have audible capabilities as one of those short yardage failures had a wide open gap to exploit? Man, we asking the same question, brother. And here's the funny thing. Y'all remember when it was Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett? Y'all remember that? And we were saying, oh, maybe they don't have the autonomy to audible. There's Russell Wilson out there. So James Webb got me, yes, very good question. That's Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion Russell Wilson, veteran, 13 years. You ain't gonna tell me that he can't audible. So the question is, are they telling them to run what's called or audible? But hold on, I gotta get on Russell a little bit, because that's the same Russell Wilson that should have audibled out of that slant against the New England Patriots in that Super Bowl. Same one. And had he done that, tonight I wouldn't have been talking about Bill Belichick with 3 in the last 10 years. That's the same Russell Wilson. As much as I love Russ, I have always said, I feel like Ben Roethlisberger checking out of that slant. And he's giving the ball to the bus or whoever the running back was, Le'Veon. Just imagine if Le'Veon did or the bus did what Marshawn Lynch did on the prior play. Almost scored on the first play. He got down to the 1. You are going to give him the ball back. I believe with everything in my heart, and I can't prove it, Ben Roethlisberger would have got up there and would have been like, and he would have checked out of that. Kill, kill, kill. And he's handing it off. And he would have dealt with the consequences had they not scored. My bad, coach. And Mike Tomlin has even said this, that, hey, the players are on the field. Sometimes we ask them what they see. Remember that what was it, last year or the year before when Minka was telling them what he saw and we got that defense to stop? So, great question. I want to know who's that on. Dang, James, man, great question, brother. But all right, guys, we're going to move on, man. I'm not even doing no big hat moment tonight. I'm not. I done got pissed off. Ain't no whole lot of big hat. You know what? I'm going to do a real quick one. You know what? Real fast. But I'm not happy about it. And we're doing it all together. So I appreciate you guys getting excited and being happy for the... See, look at that. The big hat moment don't even want it. See, it froze. That means we ain't supposed to be doing it. And I ain't even bring the big hat with me. Where's my big hat? It's over there. See how technology works? Even technology knew it ain't time for no big hat moment. It froze on it. So we ain't doing it. But whatever. The only guys who might have got a big hat moment tonight would have been Nick Herbig. Nice strip sack. And I'll give it to Russell and Calvin Austin on that touchdown. Nice route, nice ball placement, nice throw, nice catch. That's it. It ain't nothing to be happy about. I'm moving on. And y'all know I do the big hat moment sometimes when we lose, but not tonight. I done got pissed off again. I done got riled up. I don't want to talk about no big hat moment. Because the coaching, just decisions in some of the game, man. And like I said, the formations we choose to run in short yardage. Come on, son. Let's go to the phones, man. Go to the phones. I left some decent time here for the phone. Let's see who we got. Boy, I'm pissed. All right, we got a few calls in the queue, man. I hurt my shoulder too yesterday, messing with my son, man. Look, I'm barely lifted. Look, I'm like Danny Smith. It's feeling better now. But yeah, man, by the way, giving y'all a quick update. They won their tournament, the AAU tournament, man. So they've won both tournaments so far. We got another one coming this weekend in Philly and North Philly. That's going to be a real tournament up there. But yeah, man, they doing their thing. They are 7-1. But they got 2 chips already. But anyway, man, let's get to the phone calls, man. Area code. Turn the speaker up here. Area code 443. What you got for us?
What's good, son? Good evening. Good evening to the ladies in the chat. Try to make this quick as possible, man. I got this, what I'm about to say, this first thing I got from a quote on Steelers.com or a Bleacher Report. But the sky's not falling in Pittsburgh, only snow. All right, so I got that from that. But now, the offense is going to cause the Steelers in the playoffs, man. And why do I say that? Because Arthur Smith doesn't seem to call zone beaters against zone. And notice I said doesn't seem, and didn't say don't, because words matter. His route combinations are like ABC 1, 2, 3. 3 times I've seen him scheme a wide receiver open this whole season. And everything I'm saying to you, Sim, I look deep into this, man. So this is the reason why I'm saying it. With that being said, the wide receivers don't know how to read zone either. They don't drift into zones or sit into the open spaces of the zones. Their route running combinations, my fault. I don't know if it's not allowing them to drift in the zones or find the open spaces in the zones, but they continue to run their routes right into the occupied space of the zone instead of finding spaces. They had no true route runners, which is another thing that's going to cause the Steelers. And I've seen all this up close and personal at the Commanders game. I'm sorry, something going on with my throat, man. I'm sorry, I'm trying to say this fast. But I've seen this up close and personal at the Commanders game, man. And the Steelers wide receivers don't know how to ad-lib. When the quarterback is in trouble, the wide receivers just stop and watch the quarterback run and maybe throw the ball away or get sacked. And real quick to answer your question, yes, to me, Tomlin and Arthur Smith are the Steelers the game. Because Tomlin always say, play for field position, and he didn't do that. So he went against something he always say. Yeah. And Arthur Smith calling predictable run plays on 4th down. So, yes, I believe that they cost the Steelers the game because you cannot always ask your defense to hold up in moments all the time. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Man, thanks for the call. And I just wanted to let you know while you're still on here, definitely see your emails. I be meaning to respond back, but a lot of times if I don't, I always see them, but I know you call in. So I know a lot of times you're going to say the same thing. So that's the reason why sometimes I don't reply. But yeah, man, 443 said exactly that in the email. And I have to take him for his word for 2 reasons. He saw it live in person. And also I'm seeing some of this on the film. Speaking of the film, guys, I know last week was a little rough, but I got y'all this week. I will get that all 22 footage out tomorrow. I will do it tomorrow before Thanksgiving so you guys have something to look at. If you're lucky, I'll mess around and do it later tonight. But yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's funny. I'm watching the game last night, 443, and I thought about you. There was a play where Zay Flowers just sat in the zone. Commentator said it and everything, and I'm like, that's what he's talking about. It definitely seems like our guys a lot of times just go to where they're going. But also I will say this, y'all. And you guys that are going to see the film will see this. Russell Wilson missed a couple of throws in that game. I mean, it was one where Pat Fryermuth off the play action and Russell is rolling that way and he threw it short. Fryermuth is by himself. He's literally holding his hand up. Nobody behind him. There's another one with Calvin Austin. Remember after Calvin Austin, he threw it deep to Calvin? There's another play about 4 or 5 plays after that where Calvin Austin is coming across the field. It's kind of like an over route. And dog, he flashed right in front of Russ. All he had to do is lead him to the end zone. He's right there. And Russ is looking at him, but he came off of it. And I'm like, And even Calvin afterwards, after the play, you see him go, like, we had a chance. And I've been telling Kenyon, man, I'm starting to feel like as I watch the 22, Russell Wilson, when you keep him in the pocket, like in the middle of the pocket, you can't see that well. And it's probably because of stature. You know, he's not the tallest guy in the world, and I'm not blaming him for that, but I think it does actually bother him. Think about in Russell Wilson's peak career. Russell Wilson was great on the move. Y'all remember that? out of the pocket, ad-libbing, on the move, booting out. That's when he was great. But I think Russell's struggles standing in the pocket are starting to show itself now that he's not moving as much. You understand what I'm saying? And you're starting to see it, guys. But you guys who are extended family members, when I show y'all that play, them 2 plays, y'all gonna be like, oh my Lord. But yeah, 443, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for the call. Let's take the next one, guys. Area code 318. What you got for us?
Well, what's up, Bob? First of all, I just want to show love to both teams, even though we don't deserve it, but they went out there and fought their hearts out. But like you were saying, man, Tomlin and Arthur Smith, man, they didn't scheme us for success, man. And was like my man said before, man, our offense is gonna kill us, man. We gotta score points when we drive down the field, can't come up with nothing. It's irritating, man. And back how you were saying about Mike Tomlin and Bill Cowher, the race thing, man, Bill Cowher has some pitiful losses too, man. I'm 29, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm 29, bro, and I done witnessed some. I think people forget that game against the Texans, man, where I want to say we outgained them and everything and still lost. I want that loss in Oakland in 06, man. Every coaches have they strength and weakness, man. So we just got to take it day by day, game by game, man. Y'all have a good Thanksgiving and a great year.
Man, appreciate the call. Absolutely, you are correct, man. We got to take it game by game, man. And the Steelers itself, like, they got to find ways to put up points. But the offense, you guys both, last 2 callers had kind of a similar, theme. And we've been having this theme, man. We got a little spoiled because we saw Justin Fields had a game where we put up over 30. Then Russ came in and we did it back to back. We got to continue to score points. Because listen, I think our defense is good enough to keep us in games. Looking at all of these other teams that are winning, our defense, I think, plays as well as them. You're going to give up points in the NFL against good teams. But I think our defense is capable of holding teams to 22, 23 here and there, a respectable number. And if we could just get to that 24-point mark, some games, all we need is 21, 22. But the offense has to not only just score, we have to be able to do what this offense is sustain drives, control the clock, and put up points when we need to. And going back to what 443 said, yes, it's a fair point that he said he felt like Tomlin lost it because he gave us his reasoning. He said he's always preaching field position and he neglected it. Great point. Great point, 443. Gave them boys some short fields. And that defense stood tall in some of them times, but that's a great point. Man, Kenyon, woo! Man, shout outs to the nephew, man. Good Lord. Okay, Triple Dub. How old is your nephew, man? I don't think we actually discussed that. But shout outs to him, man. It's and I tell you guys, man, this basketball stuff, bro, it's crazy. For any of you guys who are parents, maybe have gone through it, or you're newer parents and your kid is younger, it is something. It is something. I mean, I'm blessed, to be able to, I love that my son is into sports and he's found something that he's relatively good at. Oh, he's 14. Okay, that's what's up. See, and I can't wait to see Mace when he get about that age. He's 11 now, but it's a blessing, man. I'll say this real quick as an aside, and we'll get to the calls. As a father, I mean, and shout outs to Kobe, man. Kobe was the ultimate girl dad, and the love he had for his young daughter, man, still hurts me. What happened to him, it's painful, but just, so I don't want to just say as a father and it being a son, you can have the same feeling with a daughter, but I would just say for the sake of argument, man, as a father and having a son that plays sports is nothing like it, man, because it allows you just to relive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just relive my whole love for sports and how much I played sports and all that, and to see him doing something that he wanted to do that I didn't push him towards, and he's good at it. It's just overwhelming, beautiful feeling, and I will just say that. Next up, guys, area code 505. What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, Sim? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So I'm going to go on a rant because I'm just so pissed off with how this team plays. Okay? So why is it that We move the ball so well. But as soon as we get in the red zone, we go brain dead. And my problem with Tomlin and like I'm gonna talk with the point that you made earlier about like we might not see any success for a while with the new coach. But the reason why I want a new coach is because I'm tired of the same stupid mistake and pattern that I see every freaking year. I get excited about this team, and they start talking about us being in the Super Bowl, and the moment that they do that, we come out and we play like that, okay? We haven't won a playoff game in over 7, almost 8 years now. And it's not because, like we're getting beat up. We're beating ourselves every time. The Chiefs are not going to beat themselves. We have to beat them. You think that the Bills are gonna let us play like that and then get away with it? Not scoring in the red zone. I've never heard in my life of a team winning 2 games without scoring a touchdown. Like as much as I'm happy with those wins, this is ridiculous. We're making history in all the wrong ways right now, and I'm not feeling good about us being in the playoffs, Sim. I'm sorry. We're just too incompetent. That's all I got, Sim. Thanks.
Man, thanks for the call. And you know what? I really appreciate this call because you gave a real opinion. So shout outs to you, 505. And see, this debunks the narrative that some people have about me. Oh, if you say anything bad about Tim, no. I just like to hear real opinions. 505 really believes that. And you know what I agree with him about? It is starting to be the same old thing. Where the team look like, oh, they catching heat. Oh, here we go. And then we can't quite get over the hump. And I think 505, we all share this, where none of us feel confident about the playoffs. That has been, unfortunately, a standard for the last several years. Now, granted, there's some caveats in there with the quarterback positions and all of that. Yeah, all that aside, we still can feel that way as a fan. And I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you giving a real opinion. I just hate when people just say, oh, so-and-so, stop. And they can't even tell you why. So thank you, 505, for that. I'm never going to argue any of you guys about an opinion. And a lot of times I'm going to agree with the points you made because you're correct. I'm tired of it too. If you notice, 505, I don't know how long you've been watching. If you notice, last several years, I'm usually the one that's like, yeah, okay, whatever. We 6-0. Yeah, what? Because they haven't given me reason to believe that they could do anything more than that. And I still feel that way right now as we're leading the AFC North. Now, when we played Baltimore, I said, okay, they're looking like a team that might at least win a playoff game. But then you laid somewhat of the dud against the Browns. So now I got to see, they got to get me back on that train right now. I'm like, see, here we go. Appreciate it. I really appreciate that. Hold on. One of you guys said something. I'm coming to the other callers here in a moment, but one of you guys said something I wanted to comment on. I forgot to do it before I took the calls. Who is it? I think it was Alexis B. I wanted to ask you guys that real quick before we get to the next 3 callers. How did you guys feel about declining or accepting the penalty on that 4th and 2 to make it, we ended up making it 3rd and 7. Some people said they would have declined. I kind of felt that way at first, but the more I looked at it, this is how I feel. And I think I told y'all this after the game. I don't disagree with taking the penalty and making it 3rd and 7. Here's 2 reasons why. We hadn't stopped the Browns on short yardage all night. Y'all realize that, right? We hadn't stopped them all night on a 4th and short, a 3rd and short, the entire night. So if you're going off the feel of the game, I can't tell you why. I think Tomlin kind of said that after the game, but I can't speak for him. if you're going off of the feel of the game, I think in that exact situation with the snow pouring down the way it was, I'm backing them up as well, 5 more yards. I'm hoping my team can stop 7 yards versus 2. And now they're faced with a decision to perhaps kick the field goal, or maybe they would have still went for it, depending on how much they got. But honestly, we had not stopped a short yardage the entire evening. So why do we feel like that they would have stopped the 4th and 2? You know? So I wanted to see what you guys felt about that. I'm not seeing too many people responding. Rajon said that was a tough call for me. Yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong. I think I lean more on why they might have accepted it. And I heard Ryan Clark say the same thing, and I fully agree with that. I fully agree with that in that situation. But at first, I was on the fence. I was like, oh, it's 4th and 2. But here's the kicker that I think a lot of people forgot. If you remember, guys, the offense stayed on the field. They never showed that they were going to kick the field goal. The offense stayed on the field. They were going to go for it, and we had not stopped them. So I think that's why he accepted it. Cannot speak for him. I'm just saying I think that's probably why they did it. That's all. But yeah. Somebody says, but intentional grounding would have been more yardage. Yeah, but remember, they didn't call intentional grounding because they're saying the lineman touched it. So in that scenario, which I thought it was intentional grounding, but apparently because the ball hit the lineman, they called illegal touching. Remember, because also keep in mind, Diane, if it was intentional grounding, the down would have counted and the yards. You see what I'm saying? So intentional grounding wasn't on the table, which I thought was interesting. So I guess if the lineman touches it, it negates the intentional grounding. So that was new to me as well. But anyway, guys, let's pick up and take some more calls here. We got a few more. I'm going to try to get at least 2 of these in, man. What time we got? We had about 57 minutes. Area code 347. What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, man? I gotta disagree with what your last caller said about Mike Tomlinson. I think that
Yo, this is yo. Some of you people are funny, man. Yo, here's the funny thing to me. All you gonna do is get a laugh out of me. That was funny. Let's move on. Area code 412.
Hey, long-time watcher of the show, first-time caller. Wanted to address the title of the show. Is Mike Tomlin the blame for the loss? He is the most responsible person for the loss, but not the only one. And I think a lot of people are taking this loss and blowing it out of proportion, and a lot of that is just Steelers fans being in their feelings over the last decade. I get it. We ain't won a playoff game in that long, and it's really hard to sit here and be, okay with a loss to the Browns when we're dealing with all these other things. But in reality, this happens to good teams all the time. They drop games to bad teams sometimes. It just happens. You're going to be living in your past until you're not. And for the Steelers, that's going to be whenever they win a playoff game. But I think to address the other thing that was mentioned in the previous call, because I think it ties in, it's just the conundrum when you're a team that counter punches and not the team that punches.
Yeah.
The problem with the Steelers' game plan in a modern NFL setting is that the modern NFL does not cater to defense, it caters to offense. So when you try to run this old school conventional offense in this modern era, the calls ain't going to go your way, the plays will rarely go your way. Like, it's hard to beat a team when downfield and that laundry comes out. It's not likely to be PI on the offensive player. It's going to be the defensive guy. And where this ties in is when you're the team that punches, all you got to do is land your punch. when you're the team that counterpunches, you got to capitalize on the mistake and make good on that mistake too. Like, it's not enough for you to just score. You have to wait for them to mess up to take advantage. And that's just the position you put yourself in. You're adding that extra step. Yeah, if you can pull it off, you got the personnel. Yeah, it can be a recipe for success, but you're picking the hard road, not the easy road. That's all I got.
Oh man, this was a phenomenal call. Thank you so much, especially being a first-time caller, man. I'm gonna throw you a round of applause because I agree with so much of what you said. Round of applause to 412. And of course, guys, anytime I see a 412 area code, I give them special thanks and special treatment. These folks are, I assume, Pittsburghers, or they're Yinzers, or they live close to the area or something. So I always treat them with kindness and respect. He's right, man. Whether you agree with all his points or not, he's right. He's right largely. He's right. And I will say this about some of the people who are tired of it. I get it. It has been 18 seasons with one person as a head coach. I get it. Some people want a new, fresh start, and maybe some of you are willing to take whatever it is you get from the fresh start. I just caution you with saying, okay, when that day comes and we're still not winning, then what? That's all I'm saying. Nobody can coach forever. I'm just saying, I think some of you feel like it's a lightning in the bottle type of thing. Or some of you guys feel like it's a microwave thing. Like, new coach, we're winning. It don't work like that. But what 412 said is some of the approach has to change. I love the analogy of the puncher versus the counterpuncher. That is kind of the Steelers mantra. But we have to adapt to the modern day times, which is the reason why you guys heard me say a lot that, guys, we got to start doing more out of 11 personnel. Keep our identity of running the football and all of that and pounding the rock and, lining up and going big from time to time. But we have to be able to pose a threat out of 11. Teams got to expect that we can do everything, because you just can't be so vanilla and just line up. We're going to go 13 personnel or 12 personnel, and we're going to run right at the 9-man box. Yeah, I said 9-man. No. We cannot be so predictable. Guys, Coach T, Arthur Smith, we got Justin Fields that can pretty much play a Lamar Jackson style in terms of running. There's so much you can do with him. Get the formation correct. So yeah, I agree with everything my man said there. And this is one thing I want to address too before I get the other two callers. Why do some of you guys, can you explain this? And I'm talking specifically to Boxing Men 1. Shout outs to you. Can you explain why anytime somebody says something like the caller there and they're expressing their opinion, why do we always say things to each other like excuses? What is he excusing? Like, why did some of you guys feel like that us as fans are married to one coach? Or I don't think any of us are against another coach in Pittsburgh whenever the time may be. But the reason why I keep saying that to y'all, it don't matter what you're thinking. What matters is the organization. The organization is the ones that continue to ride with Tomlin. So I get it, but it's a moot point. None of what you're saying is going to happen until they decide that they're going to get another coach. But I don't understand why when somebody gives their opinion of how they see it, why do you challenge them with, excuses? Like, what's the excuse? He says, how many 9-8 seasons and one and done in the playoffs we got to eat? You're still not telling me what's an excuse. You understand what I'm saying? Why are you challenging the caller saying you just making excuses as if he's... That's what I'm saying. I don't get why we challenge each other so much like that. That to me is crazy. You can have your opinion, he can have his, but we're all the Steelers fan base. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Debbie says, no, they don't. Once the losses mount up, the sympathy will be playing again. Stop everyone loves the new car smell, but does the engine work? Or even if the car runs, how long? Yeah, Deb, I tell you, it's hilarious, man. It's hilarious. But anyway, let's take these last two callers, man, and we're going to get out of here. Area code 817, what you got for us?
Yo, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Look, man. I go between I'm between the Cowboys and the Steelers, man. I got family on both sides. As you can tell by the area code, I'm in Texas. But speaking of the Steelers team, man, there's a lot. We are probably one of the most undisciplined teams in the league. And when you talk about playoffs, throw the red zone offense and inefficiencies out the window. We can't sustain a drive.
Yeah.
We cannot continue to play like Mighty Mikes. Illegal formations. Do you know that Hayward's little brother, Hayward.
Oh yeah, Connor,
Washington, and Jones. Do you know all three of them Negroes contribute to all the flags that we get on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. The defense scares me too, man. We give up. We allow teams to have too many new opportunities on drives. Way too many. Porter, Queen, there's always a penalty somewhere. We're too unreliable. Dallas, we gave him an extra drive. Joey Porter holding. Commanders, we gave him an extra drive.
Yep.
Joey Porter holding. Baltimore, gave him an extra drive. Patrick Queen holding. And do you know every one of those drives has equaled in the points for that opposing team? Every one of them. We cannot continue to have these inefficiencies that goes on within both sides of the ball. And another thing that kills, that grinds my gears. Why in the world do when we get to, one of the problems when we get to the red zone is why in the world is Calvin Austin and Van Jefferson are leading blockers when we run a toss, when we run screens? Why? I don't get it.
Yeah, man.
I just don't get it. And my last point that I'm gonna make with our offense, I wish we could just steal some of the plays that we see from the Rams. If you watch the Rams play, guys, they have less talent than we do on the opposite side of the ball. You telling me Russell Wilson can't do what Stafford does? The Rams make every play look the exact same. And you can see it. The Rams will run the same play 3 times in a row. And the 4th time, it's a different play. But it's I'm trying to make it all make sense, but we're too vanilla guys, and I'm sorry to say it, but that's all I got to say.
Man, excellent call. Very good call. I want to respond to a whole lot of that. I'm just trying to remember it all. I'm going to hang on a couple points, and then I see a couple things I want to comment on in the chat, and then I'll come to 816. Let's hang on the point of defense and undisciplined. Coincidentally, guys, this is the reason why I personally, and I'm going to go back to our other caller, our first-time caller, 412, I believe it was, and he said, yeah, you put blame, obviously, on Mike Tomlin, but not completely on Mike Tomlin. Let me share in that by saying this. Most people, when people say teams are undisciplined, you know who they always want to point to? The head coach. Y'all know who I point to? The players. The players. Let me explain to you why. A couple of reasons. I always tell y'all this story, man. I remember when I was playing in a game, we got the game pretty much in the bag. The team pretty much trying to do like a deep Hail Mary or something. Coach pulls us on the sideline. Coach said, hey, I know they're going to go deep, but look out for the short pass. He said, hey, you, come here. Play like the curl flat earlier. stay there. Don't go deep this time. Stay there. I was like, all right. I tried out on the field. And I get to talking to myself. I was like, man, they're not going short. They're going deep. They're going deep. So what do? I trot myself all the way back down the field. Ball is up. I get to pick. Pick the ball off. Oh, boy, I'm running with that thing. I mean, it was like a monsoon out there. It was raining crazy hard. Try to hit a little spin, get hit, fumble the ball. But we recovered it. Game over pretty much, right? Because now it's like 10 seconds left on the clock. Everybody pat me on the back. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. My coach standing over there like this. Y'all can't see my arms folded because of the thing. He said, come here. What'd I tell you to do? I was like, Coach, what'd I tell you to do? Yeah, he said, so what if they would have threw it in the flat? Nobody was there. He said, it's not about what you did. It's about being disciplined and listening to what I told you to do. So that's one. Number two, who was another team that has been very undisciplined like this year? Talked about it last night. Talked about it against us. Baltimore Ravens. Even though the Baltimore Ravens look like they rolling when they get rolling, you know, they took an L to us, but they look like a really good team, right? So who y'all blame that on? Are y'all going to say that that's John Harbaugh or the players? Joey Porter Jr. being so grabby. That's on Mike Tomlin or coaching staff, or is that Joey Porter? Connor Hayward, thank you for calling that out, 817. That's on the coaching staff? This is what I'm saying, guys. I've always said this as somebody who's played sports. Penalties and discipline is here. Your coach can't help you with that. But a lot of people will always blame coaches for that. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. That's players. Coaches can coach until they blue in the face. But when you make the mistake, you make the mistake. But he's absolutely right, the caller was. Guys, too many penalties, man, especially on defense and offense. I mean, both sides of the ball, like he said. Too many penalties that back us up or kill a drive. You got to do your job. You got to do your job, bro. Plain and simple. Yeah. Last call of the night, guys. Area code 816. What you got?
Hello.
Hello.
First time calling.
Thank you.
Basically, man, I'm calling. I watch the show, but I never get to call in. I catch it when I can. I'm from Pittsburgh, but I live in the Midwest now. I watch my Steelers when I can, man. You know how that is with the local channels. The situation, I see the Chiefs all the time, but I'm a big-time Steelers fan. But the offensive line, man, needs help. It really does. And our play calling was horrendous the other night. I think it was third down, 4, you saw a 50-50 ball. Come on, man. In the snow with a quarterback that was cold. They came in right off the street. Well, not off the street, but off the sidelines. Come on, man. We got to do better than that. And I get it. You know, Cleveland, they got players too. They get paid. And their job and their DC's job is to stop us. So I get it. I understand it. I played the game. So I get it. But we got to be patient, man. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we even been in this position. So Pittsburgh fans, enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. We're going to get better. Believe me, I can see it. And I know if you're a football fan and aficionado, whatever you want to call yourself, you can see it too if you're just patient. But if you get into fandom where you don't want to look at anything else, all you see is, oh, we lost. Nah, man, there's more to it. These other guys get paid too. So we got to understand that. And also, bruh, I'm starting a podcast in the Midwest. I might need your help. Give me a chance to reach out to you and get some advice. So if you can help me out, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Man, thanks for the call. And yeah, absolutely, bro. Shoot me an email, SimFBallCritic@gmail.com. Absolutely. Any type of pointers I could give you to help, I'm willing to do it. I'm not such a big podcast myself, but whatever I can lend to you, man, Absolutely. That's just me, who I am by nature. A couple things I wanted to say, man. Again, I'm going to give you the same respect I would give a 412 area code. You're from Pittsburgh. So we're always going to give respect to you guys. I'm not from the Burgh, live in PA, but I'm always going to give a special salute and respect to those from Pittsburgh or in the Pittsburgh area. Couple interesting things you said there that I think some people won't agree with as far as your last point, but I actually agree with you because I think I know what you're saying. But also early on, man, you said something that burned me up too. Lord have mercy. Guys, on that last drive, remember I talked about us getting the ball with 4 minutes and change, 4-minute offense, and we go 3 and out. Why did we throw deep on third and fourth? Why? With Justin Fields, I understand, 50-50 ball to George. Oh, I get all of that. Oh, it looked like it was pass interference. Yeah, probably was. But, dog, why is that the call? My brother Tony is in here watching, I'm sure. And Tony used to be so mad. Tell him, Tony, in years past when Ben Roethlisberger is 3rd and 1 and Ben throwing it 50 yards, and Tony used to be like, why? Why? Get the first down. He hated it. I'm telling y'all right now, that was one of Tony's biggest issues with Ben Roethlisberger. Was Ben would go for the gusto. I get you got AB one-on-one or whoever, but dog, and he used to always say, I need you to be more like Brady or more like Peyton. Get the first down, move the chains. And I'm agreeing with 816 right there. Not in that moment, dog. We about to go 3 and out. Like, that's the thing. See, that's situational football. Now, if that was the play call, I'm going to blame Arthur Smith. If that was a decision by your boy, I'm going to blame him. And I say your boy, meaning Russell Wilson. Can't do that. You just can't do that. Oh, I just messed up something, guys. There you go. I thought I closed out of the blog talk. I'm about to shut down the queue anyway. But you can't do that. You cannot go on 3 and out. So that's a situational thing. And like I said, if that was the play call, I'm putting the blame squarely on Arthur Smith. And if it was a decision to just throw to that guy, I'm putting that on Justin Fields, not Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. You have to think about the situation. Get the first down. Then we taking more time off the clock. I mean, Lord have mercy, that can't be the play call, man. And in the snow with Justin Fields, who hasn't thrown a pass in how many games? What happened? Boxing, man, who he talking to? He said somebody called him out and what are you talking about? I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else, but if you're talking to me, explain what you're saying. Yeah, you just can't do that. But still, Steelers had opportunities to win the game, man. You moved the ball right there on 4-minute offense. And you're likely to win the game. See what I'm saying? So it's many things, guys, that transpire in the game. That's why I find it hard when people just solely put a loss on a coach, and sometimes even solely a win on a coach. Because I feel like you have to take the players into effect as well. To me, play call and strategy is on the coaches. Execution is on players. That's the way I will always view it. You guys don't have to agree with me, but that is always my position in case you're ever wondering, when am I going to put blame on Tomlin or Arthur Smith or Terrell Austin or whoever the coach is? And when am I going to blame players? Those are the reasons. I look at coaches execute play calls, situational awareness, and going forward on 4th down, things like that. I look at players for execution. Nathan says, I would run the ball in the snow. Yeah, give it a try. Go from shotgun or pistol, whatever, spread them out and try to run it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm just not throwing a 50-50 ball. In that situation, I'm just not. Jonathan Harvey says you have to blame coaches first. Okay, explain to me why. I'm eager to listen as we wrap up the show. Explain to me why, Jonathan. Again, I'm the type, and this is just how I get down on my show. I need more substance to responses. I want to know the reason why. Just like my man that came on here and said 505. He said he was tired of the Tomlin and why, and I respected his opinion because he gave me reason. Okay, boxing men, you said me. Okay, what did I call you out on, sir? And where should I apologize? Come on, let's do it. Let's have it. Because now I'm in the chat for a few minutes. Let me get closer. What we got? Walter says Thursday, in my honest opinion, was on the coaches. A game like the Colts was on the players. Can't recollect completely the Colts game or to be able to differentiate the two. But I'm with you. What specifically with the coaches, Walter? Boxing Man says, you said I was talking to a caller and I was not. I was in convo. What are you talking about? What is you talking about? I'm not watching the chat all the time. I asked you to tell me what was you talking about. What are you talking about? You said I was talking to a caller and I was not. I was in convo in the chat. I don't know what you were talking about. That's what I'm asking you to explain, fam. Huh? Come on, man. Stop it. Wild Herb Wade says, how many 100-yard games does Warren have this season? Putting Justin Fields in mid-game, cold in a blizzard, and say run and throw cold is crazy. Yeah, I don't get it. And again, here's another thing that I don't understand. Why does everybody blame the head coach for everything? Like, why do y'all feel like people literally tell me Tomlin runs the offense? No. You got to blame the offensive coordinator. Matter of fact, did y'all see that clip today? This is the funny thing, right? Y'all always say how conservative Tomlin, y'all are confident that's what he does. You see the clip today where they were advertising the Hard Knocks and they showed that play from when we played Seattle last year. And Mike Tomlin is saying, listen, we're not going to be conservative. We're going to go win this game. And Mason Rudolph passed the ball. What was it, like 3rd and 2 to George Pickens? He told George Pickens, be ready to make a play. But see, you never talk about those moments. Why do people always just talk about what fits the narrative? Again, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm not defending the coach. I'm just saying, why don't we talk the same way, regardless? Like, I would rather hear people say, I just don't like him as a coach, just like my man 505 said. This is why I'm tired of him, because X, Y, Z, and he gave me reason. He gave me substance. I take my hat off and hand it to him. Respect. I just don't respect the people that can't really explain what they're saying, or they go by the wind. They feel this way one day, they feel this way the next day. The team win 3 games in a row, oh, they feeling good. They win 1 game, oh, it's the worst coaching staff in the world. I'm like, which one is it? That's the only thing I don't really respect, because you're not really giving me nothing. Yes, Nathan, me too. I blame Arthur Smith. He's the play caller. What are we talking about? I blame Coach Tomlin, like Walter just said. Thank you for saying that, Walter. Why did we kick that 58-yard field goal early? I did not like that. That is Mike Tomlin. That's the decision we're going to kick. See the difference? You see the difference? Mike Tomlin had some situations in that game twice where timeout should have been called and weren't. That's on Mike Tomlin, clearly, and I blame him for it. Not only did I do it tonight, I did it right after the game. But some of the stuff y'all try to put on the head coach, I don't understand it. Might as well not have a staff at all. That's all I'm saying. Doubleback says, quit addressing them people. They don't know football. They just fans. I know, man, but just make it interesting, man. I just on the pod, I guess I got to entertain so every now and then. What else? I don't know, boxing, man. He says, read what I said. I don't know what you said. Let me go back up. I don't know. I can't find it. All I know is you talking about I needed to give you an apology. I don't know. What you talking about? Let's see. What'd you say? 2024 lost to the Ravens. 2015 Broncos only. In 2016 we played and lost to the Pats. In 2017 a loss to the Jags. That is the Killer Bees playoff era. Okay, what is the point you wanted me to read? I'm trying to figure out what are we debating. I don't know what we're debating, but whatever. I missed the Wonder Bread, man. My bad. Who was that? James Webb with more Wonder Bread. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the donation. Now here's a good point. He says the O-line is still holding us back, and we are horrible at chipping and helping. Good point. I mean, we was allowing just Myles Garrett to do what he wanted to do, right? Yeah, Walter said too. Let me go back. And Walter said 58-yard field goal in the weather, too many obvious runs, and poor time management. I put that on Tomlin, and Arthur Smith can't complain with that. You are correct. Those things I do put on them. So, like I said, we took the lead. We went up, kicked the ball back to them, 6 minutes, and I think 15 seconds left it was. We end up getting the ball back, and at that time, it's 4-minute offense, and you win the game, and we could not execute it. That right there, that drive, absolutely, we could look at Arthur Smith. Because I just don't understand, again, the play calling is so predictable. And then you're going to throw deep downfield on 4th and 4. Come on, man. Oh, yeah, you're right. The Colts game, the D let us down. Old man Flacco was nicing us up. Boxing men, I'm going to say this one time and one time only. Either repeat what you were trying to debate so I can read it, or leave it alone. Because at this point, I don't care. I don't. I would be happy to find out what it is I owe you an apology for. So you have two options. Retype it, because I'm not going to go try to find it, or let it go. It's not important. Who cares? Who cares? It's not important. Not that important. It shouldn't be that important to you. What else y'all got? I'll give y'all a few more minutes. Diane says, I want to just bring this up. The announcing was horrible. They were talking about Browns. Even when they did not have the ball, they made me say, yeah. You know, and not only just the announcer, just the way the Browns is acting. Like, and the Browns, I'm not even going to say Browns fans, but I didn't have too many Browns fans I knew rub it in. But the Browns themselves, like, that's really sad that y'all was that hyped to be 3-8. You know what I mean? Like, to me, if I'm a fan of the Browns and y'all, we're going to win. Y'all should have been guaranteeing that early in the season. Who cares at this point? Your season is over. Because I can almost guarantee that they're not, well, they can't. They can't win 10 games. And I think if you don't win 10 games, you won't make the playoffs. There's a small chance somebody 9-8 will get in. But I do not think the Browns are going to win the rest of their games. So why are they so excited? I actually think that we're going to beat them next week. So what is that? Would that be week 14? So I don't understand them. If I was a Browns fan, I'd be mad at the players. Like, why y'all so happy? Like y'all done accomplished something. Jonathan Harvey says, to get best from players is to teach or coach. Players making mistakes comes being bullheaded, and bullheadedness continues. That's on coaches. Well, I respect what you're saying, Jonathan Harvey, but again, I'm always going to disagree with that because there's other examples of guys who excel on the Steelers. So where do you draw the line with that? How do you explain T.J. Watt? How do you explain Nick Herbig? Right? Nick Herbig, a new guy that's showing up every time. So how do we explain that? If it's the coaches, what's the difference between Nick Herbig and Joey Porter Jr.? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not debating what you're saying, but I feel like we put too much on coaches. Like, and we act like as fans that the coaches are not teaching them. Where's the proof, right? Again, where's the proof that we have that the coaches are not teaching them up? Case in point, I can use T.J. Watt. Remember T.J. Watt was a project? The last pass rusher to go? And look at what he turned into. So do we give credit to the coaching staff and Mike Tomlin? Or is that also TJ Watt excelling at what he does and taking the teaching and making himself better? Which one is it? So me personally, again, I'm sorry. I don't agree when we say that it's on the coaches. I think these coaches prepare these players the same way. Some exceed, some don't. Alex Highsmith, that's another example. Again, Nick Herbig, Zach Frazier, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren is being in scrappy and playing tough as he. Who is that coaching? And if it's coaching, then why does one player get it and the other player don't? You understand what I'm saying, Jonathan? Not trying to beef with you. I'm just saying, again, and I'm not saying that you didn't play sports. I'm just saying as a person who's played sports, to me, there's certain things that always resonates to me as coaching versus players. Every sport I ever played, the coaches coached us up. It was up to us to do. A coach could teach me a technique a million times. I tell you right now, on my son's 11-year-old 5th grade AAU team, there's stuff that I continue to tell him and his teammates and the coaches. In every practice, we telling them, guys, we tell you this every week. You understand what I'm saying? It's not the coaches. It's them. And some of them, it clicks. Like my son now is starting to click. My son is a shooter. I'm teaching him how to keep moving. I got him watching videos of Steph Curry. Showing him how this dude is running around and he's a 1. My son plays the 2, the 3 sometimes. He's a wing player. My son can shoot the lights out. Now I'm coaching him on how little pump fake drive to the basket because he loves to shoot. Even though he loves to shoot. So now I'm trying to coach that out of him. Like, you can't shoot every time. And I need you to move. Don't sit still. Move around that perimeter. He's starting to get it now. But it ain't because he's not being told. You understand what I'm saying? But that's just my opinion, man. I ain't going to beef with you, brother. Lagoon Tour says, oh my God, it's been an hour and 30 something. We got to get out of here, guys. He says division game, and that was their Super Bowl, beating us everything today. Yeah, just that's poor. Now, if you're a Browns fan, you should be very, very pissed off at how your team is celebrating that. Just my opinion. He says, Walter said, loves me some Warren, not a number 1, but deserves more touches, especially out in the flat. Absolutely, bro. Real G Lee says, it's on coaches when TJ is double teamed and you don't blitz, decide to give you the upper hand. Oh, okay, well, that's arguable. RG Lee, you're saying maybe they should run some blitzes or what have you. Fair point. I would say you can't always blitz all the time. I mean, TJ has doubled and chipped every play. You can't blitz every play because then you expose somewhere else. But I understand what you're trying to say. You're saying that, is there a way for the coaches to adjust to TJ being doubled? That's a difficult task, but I understand your headspace and where you're going with that. Nathan says, Sim, I like Justin Fields when he threw a nice ball. I really blame it on George Pickens. Oh, no, George got held, man. He got held on that. That was interference. All right, I think that's about it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up there. Great discussions tonight, man. And like I said, one thing I really want you guys to do is please, please, please keep your own opinion. Don't make me change your opinion. But the only thing that I would ask everybody to do, including myself, do not express an opinion as if it's a fact. It's just an opinion. What you think doesn't make you right. What I think doesn't make me right. What the chat thinks doesn't make them right. These are just opinions. And I try to shy away from speculating, right? I do not know what the coaches are literally teaching. I do not know literally what the game plan is every week. A lot of things that people say don't happen actually happens, and you find that out when we are able to hear the mic'd up stuff. I've heard so many people say that Mike Tomlin never talk to the players. He never says anything. The coaches don't coach him up on the sideline. And we've heard numerous times where all of the coaches and players are scheming up and talking on the sideline. So I say that to say it's many things as fans that you think you don't know. And that's just how I approach it. Always speaking from a it seems to be thing, never from fact, because I have no way of knowing. You know? But anyway, guys, we're gonna get out of here, man. First and foremost, let's get this out of the way, man. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Guys, I don't know why, if I have 100 viewers, I'm going to fudge the numbers a little bit. I should be at 80% likes. I'm just saying. I wouldn't think that more than 20% dislike it. But I don't understand why I got to ask y'all for likes. It's free. All I need y'all to do is like and share. Subscribing and hitting the notification is optional. But what I would ask and request, if you like the content, like it. If you really like it, share it. That's all I ask. It's free. But outside of that, man, we're going to do our normal wrap up and then I'll give y'all a special goodbye. Make sure you guys stay healthy. Stay safe. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank y'all for tuning in, but once a year, I'm always going to wish you guys, for those of you that celebrate, happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving, if that's what you want to call it. That's for another show. I won't get into all of that, but listen, I look at it as a time to just spend time with your family and be thankful for what you have. That's what it means to me, and we break bread over good food. And I'll leave the other part somewhere else. I'll let some of y'all that know where I'm going with it, y'all figure out what I'm saying. So whatever you call it and however you celebrate it, all I ask you to do is to have a good one. Spend time with your family, watch some football. I should be back at you guys. It's going to have to be Friday sometime because, again, we got another tournament. My son has another AAU tournament in Philadelphia. So I'm going to try to get to that pregame show Friday night sometime. They practice. No, they don't. He don't have practice Friday. Okay, good. I'll do that sometime Friday evening. And for you guys who are channel members, we shall get to that footage tomorrow night. At some point tomorrow, you'll get the all 22 footage. I got a lot to show y'all. We're going to concentrate on offense. Real quick, Lagoon says, great to be back here with you and still a family. Wish I could be back more. Being across the pond is not easy, man. We miss you, man. You definitely was one of my favorites when you were here. Always loyal. I appreciate you, man. Love you to death, man. And I mean that. You know, I love all of y'all, man. And be safe over there. Be safe, whatever you're doing, man. I hope it's going well. And be safe. But all right, guys, we out of here, man. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Like I said, I should be back to you guys on Friday. I'm going to try to do that as a stream, but if not, it will just be a pre-recorded video. And we'll talk about what it's going to take to potentially go to Cincinnati and get the dub. All right. Catch y'all later. Peace. Oh, yeah. Per Kenyon. Mustard. All right, y'all, I'm out.